time by, ForeverAnimated. In a relationship like no other, time was of the essence. A little Wilbur Violet one-shot, originally part of a 100 challenge that I will no longer be completing. Time. So, it was something that she never really stopped to think about. Well, of course, time was important. It mattered how many hours there were in a day, how many minutes that she had to complete a certain task, how many seconds were left on a ticking bomb that she had to deactivate. Yeah, time was important. Actually, she was very mindful of time, even if she didn't realize it herself. She would always take her time with homework, making sure it was absolutely perfect before handing it in to the teacher. She took time to say hello to others, to stop and chat about whatever they wanted to talk about. Even as Invisigirl, she took time assessing each situation before planning her next move. And of course, she took time for herself at the end of a stressful day fighting bad guys, to sit down and unwind by reading a magazine or listening to music. She would never want to waste time. It was invaluable. Each second was precious in her sight, and she would never want to just sit idly by and watch those seconds fly by. She would never just jump into a situation without thinking, though. She wouldn't just act without taking time to think it over. To do so would be an utter abuse of each valuable second that passed. And that was just how she had always viewed time. Of course, her whole conception of time changed when she met him. All of a sudden, deadlines and schedules meant nothing to her. She had been taken into his life. His world and time was definitely a big part of it. The difference here was that now she could control it. She could fly with him on his rapid journeys through time, and she would feel those temporal things of her past life slowly start to melt away as she took hold of his strong, reassuring hand. Time. Simply put, time was his life. He lived in the moment. He was quick and impulsive. It wasn't unlike him to boldly jump into a situation that would, more often than not, get him into big trouble. But unlike others, when it came to time, he defied the laws of logic. He jumped from one era to the next without a care in the world. One second he would be in the Ice Age, and in another he would be shaking hands with Abraham Lincoln. And it didn't matter to him if he wasted time, because he could just go back and fix it anyway. Yes, he had been given the power of time, a power which he knew that he had often abused or taken for granted. Time had become just a game to him, a fast-paced, action-filled race, and he could decide where he wanted to go. And he wanted to go faster. It was true. He was always on the move. Most of that could be blamed on his father's motto, "Keep moving forward." And that's what he did. And he never looked back. But when he met her, things changed. He could feel her soft and gentle presence have a calming effect on his whirlwind lifestyle. He started to take things in more. He now noticed the sparkling night sky filled with shining stars. He noticed the cool breeze rustling through the grass. He noticed the way her hair blew softly in the wind, and how pretty it made her look. Time was no longer a race now. It was more precious than that. It was those little, unguarded moments that he remembered the most. And when he looked into her beautiful blue eyes, time stood still.